Welcome back, my crafty friends. Today we have club video for Spellbinders July 2024. I've got the 3D embossing folder here and the Glimmer club of the month. The 3D embossing folder is called Pine Cones and Berries, which I adore, these little pine cones. Here's what we're going to do with them. We are going to add some solar paste. I got us started because I wanted to see how it would look, but we're going to finish up this corner here together. Oh, sorry, lunar paste, my bad. Solar paste is the one that goes on white and looks great on black cardstock, and lunar paste is the more solid paste. This is all by Ranger and Simon Hurley. So I just wanted to let you know that. And then we are going to color up our beautiful glimmered holly from the Glimmer of the month, which is titled Joyful Holly. It has a beautiful sentiment saying, wishing you joy. I've got it glimmered up right here so you can see it. Wishing you joy. And on my previous sample that I showed in my preview video, I did cut it apart. I don't know if you noticed that, but I cut it apart so that I could fit this little berry in here that came in. And when I reverse foiled it, I was pleasantly surprised how it looked as well. Now, this foil here is Aura, and that is the free foil that you get with the Glimmer Club. This does not come with the Glimmer Club. After it goes into the store, you get that as a little freebie. So this is foiled and reverse foiled. Pretty cool, huh? It looks rainbowy, but that is just because of my really bright lights. But it is holographic, so it does, change as you move it, but it is not rainbow foil. So just so you know that. It really lends to the gold look, the gold side, but it's a little lighter gold, and it does have that holographic shift in it. So I have two of those colored up. We're going to color a third one with Altenew woodless pencils. And first, let's use the best tool ever with lunar paste, our finger pads. So let's just dip a little tiny bit on your finger and rub just the tips of the pine cone. You don't want to get too much, but we're going to just give them a little love on the tips of them. And they're pretty raised because this is a 3D folder, so you don't get too much on the background, which is nice. So our fingers did the work for us, and I've gotten a tiny bit previously right here, and I got a tiny bit right there, but you know what? We're putting our holly over it, so no one is going to be the wiser. So let me just clean up a little. It's very super easy to clean up, but you do want to clean it up right away. Lunar paste is very difficult to get off when dry. So when you're using it like with stencils or anything like that, go ahead and just clean your space, your stencil, your tools, things like that. My finger tool. Right when using it. Let me just make sure there's nothing under my nail. Would not want it getting stuck there. So I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to put our background to the side, and we'll start coloring. So we're just going to use a couple, 2 or 3 colors here. Not a whole lot, but I'm going to use, let's see, we will use probably 2, well, maybe all 3 of the greens and a couple of the reds. These are Altenew woodless coloring pencils. These are not watercolor pencils. They are more like a Prisma pencil where layering is going to get you blending. So I'm not using a blending type of paper though. I'm using just your hammer mill paper, the one with a gecko on it that is good for foiling. That is the paper I'm using. So I'm just going to use really light layers. And as it builds on the light layers, you will see the colors blend a little bit, which looks pretty in the end, I think. You know, to each his own, but I think I got a really nice transition right there between the colors. A little darker here and then transition. I love the way the light green goes over the medium green right here. And that was just having a lighter layer of green here and then bringing this lighter green, the lightest green, over the middle. And by just coloring over this middle lightly, it changed this color. Kind of like an ombre almost. So just playing with my tools. And same thing here. I left the berry light up here and then I came in with the darker red and just started circles here and came up to where this was and left that lighter bit at the top to give us our little highlight there on the berry. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start with a medium green on the leaves. And as I'm coloring, I'm going to avoid the foil. So it's pretty easy to do on this image because there's not but straight lines right there in the center. So I'm going with a really light hand. I'm just going to fill in this part of the leaf. And I'm not, you know, being super picky. I'm just doing a light layer. And I'm going to go to about right here. Just a little bit there in the nook and cranny right there. And then go back down this other side. And I remember as a little girl coloring in color books with my mom. And I just loved it. It was one of my favorite things to do to pass time as a child. I loved to color. And I remember this one day when my mom went all out and she colored this one picture in this color book. It was like a 2-page spread. And I just loved how it turned out. And she did all this little shading and, you know, lights and darks. And that's the only time I ever saw her do it like that. But I remember as a child, and I was probably maybe 5, and I tried and tried and tried for the longest time to make my coloring look like hers. I will never forget it. And I never did. I mean, as a child, I never did. Now, I understand lights and darks, of course, but as that little child, that little girl looking up to her mother, I never understood how she did that. And I tried, and I got mad at myself over and over again. But, you know, you just don't. I mean, those memories are just with you, you know, and you just have to try and try again, and eventually you learn techniques the more you try. So, from color books to YouTube, right? Who knew? So I'm just doing this to all the leaves. Okay, so here is the first layer all done. You can see there where I haven't gone all the way up to the tip because that's where we're going to bring the lighter color. Now that is the medium. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little of the dark now just at the base down here. And it's not super dark, but I'm going to put it at the base, and then I'm just going to put it right in these little nooks here where the actual stem meets, like so. Not a whole lot, just a little bit, mostly focusing at this base. Okay, so I'll do that to the rest of them, just like this. Now notice when I'm coloring also, I tend to move the paper like this as I'm coloring. Like if I come over here and color here, I move the paper. I don't move my pencil. I always keep my pencil in the same orientation. It just makes for, you know, I'm not trying to do this and then do this. It just makes for an easier coloring if you just scoot it like that. Gives you less stress on your hands too. All right, here you go for that second layer. I'm still avoiding the foil, not coloring on it, just missing that. And now the magic begins with the light color. So we're going to take this light and we're going to just come down from the tip and as we get to the other colors, the colors are going to blend as we go over them with this color. So just go over everything on your leaf with a light hand. You don't want to be super heavy. Remember, you don't have a tooth to this paper. This paper is a very, very smooth paper for glimmering. So there's no tooth that you're trying to flatten like with other papers that you would normally use these type of pencils with. So I wasn't even sure these were going to work, but I wanted to color. I wanted to color my holly in. You could also watercolor them. You could use alcohol markers with them also. This is quite a bright green. I think that's why it looks so good over these other greens. It's very pretty. And because we did the other greens light, there is still room for color to go over them, which gives them that nice blend because there's room between the color. Okay, so let me show you how that looks now. See that? I just love that. So pretty. Okay, I'm going to finish these last two. Okay, now for the red, for the berries. We're going to start with the lightest color, and we're going to go really lightly over the entire berry with the lightest color. So just fill in the whole berry really lightly. Now I'm not pressing down, I'm just barely touching the paper and just giving this a nice light coverage because we're going to go back over it with the other red. So we just want this to have a nice light coverage. Okay, there's my first color layer of the red. That's the light red. Now for the darker red, I'm going to come in opposite the dot here, the foiled circle there on the berries. So let me bring that a little closer so you see what I mean. Each of these berries has this little circle. Each of them do. So I'm going to come in opposite of that and I'm going to darken this section, leaving this section up here lighter. Now, when I'm doing these berries bunched together, I'm going to do the same thing, but now remember, when you're doing shadows, these two berries are on top of this one, if you can see that. So there's going to be a cast shadow under here and under here where these two berries are on top. Even though I'm up here at this top, this is going to be darker here as well. So I'm going to actually do those first instead of starting up here so that you can make sure to see. So here, I'm going to start down here at the bottom opposite that circle and I'm going to come up like so, and I'm kind of coming at a C shape. And because of that berry, I'm going to also come up like this because there is a cast shadow right there from that top berry. So I'm just going to try to soften that edge there. Then I'll do the same thing here. I'll come up try to soften that a little bit. Going in little circles is a little softer than what I was doing there in the C shape. So if you do little circles, that kind of softens that edge right there. There we go. And then here, I'll do the same thing. You can start in those circles. You don't have to start as hard as I was pressing there either. You can start here, get where you want to go. This is a top berry, so there isn't any extra. You can start with your little circles, and that'll soften everything and also fill everything. But it softens this edge. Then if you want to go darker, you can decide how much darker you want to go. This also helps it look round by doing this. There we go. And then this one, we're going to have a darker line here because of that cast shadow. Then we'll just turn it like we are normally doing. Like so. But you're going to have that dark line right there. You're going to have this darker line right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. But then you have the little tops of the berries where the sun is shining on them. I'll go ahead and finish this up, and we'll get it die cut, and then we'll be able to build our card. Okay, we'll put this on our little Scout. First premiere in a video. If you haven't picked up your Scout yet, I will have a link down below. She is perfect. I love her, and I am really enjoying the platform being so large for a small die cut machine. I really think they did a good job on this one. I have had different minis before and used others even, and I really like this size platform. It is much larger than a normal small machine, and it is the entire regular platform, the universal platform that we are used to with our Platinum 6 and our full-size Platinum machines. So this is the Lilac Shimmer Scout. It also comes in white on Spellbinders website. This is an exclusive to the Spellbinders website, or you can get it in pink on the scrapbook.com website. If you have a local retailer, you can also get it in like a sky blue. So this one here does not have a bird on it. If you get the Platinum 6, which I also have, it has a little hummingbird on the side, but it coordinates with this. It has the shimmer just like this one does, and these gorgeous flowers all the way around. So I really love that this fits in the frame so much better. So, you know, I have my regular Platinum 6 right here on the side, right here next to me. So I use this one for my BetterPress, and it's going to be replaced with my Lilac Shimmer, and that one is going to Mr. Claus on the other side of the craft room, because he now crafts right across from me, right behind the computer monitor, which is right there in the middle of the island. So anyways, so that is that. We got it cut and ready, and now let's finish our card. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to this. This has had plenty of time to dry. One thing I wanted to mention also about the Glimmer and the BetterPress, for that matter, clubs this month, is they both come with a free Caboodle gift. So if you are a Caboodle member, you will be getting a stencil for this club to be able to stencil the holly, and you will also be getting 3 extra truck nameplates for the back of your BetterPress truck this month. So you get 3 extra sentiments to BetterPress or Glimmer, and you get the stencil for this Glimmer set. So I think that is majorly cool. So now we have 3 of these, which we're going to place on top here, plus we have our sentiments. So let's see how we're going to want to do this. My vision is to place these, I'm going to cover up my boo-boos. So I want to place this one kind of like this. I'm going to let them hang off and we're going to cut them. So, and then we could have this one. I have some boo-boos right there, and I have a little bit right there. So I can have a small leaf come in there, like maybe this one. So I could bring that here, like so maybe. And then we're gonna have to figure out, we'll pop up, I think. Pop up, wishing you joy in the middle, I think, like that. And we're gonna have these pieces that we're gonna cut off, which will pull up here and will pull in here, I think. I think I like that. And the sentiment is going to fill in this because there's a little opening here, and I'm okay with that because I need this to come in and give me some more to put elsewhere. So let's just go for that. If you did not see my cool tool video, this thing is amazing. Just saying. I am in love with it. I have only had one minor little clog, which took 2 seconds to clean out. And that was my fault for leaving the gun out of the holster. So I'm telling on myself. And actually, that needs to go up just a little bit, Melanie, because I need that leaf. So let me just pull that up just a tad. Okay. And other than that, you leave it in this holster. You never have to put a lid on your glue or a pin ever again. It is like amazing. The Sweet Petunia is amazing. I don't know what took me so long to get it. I mean, I should have got it from the beginning, but I waited and then it kept selling out. So I am so happy with this purchase. So let's see. I like that right there. I like the way these two kind of mingle right there. This is a 3D embossing folder, so it is quite bumpy. So this glue is going to have to catch. Once it catches, we'll be fine. And we'll put this last one. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. I am loving the way this is looking. It's so bright and cheerful in the darker background. Okay, I'm just, you know, this might be too low. I might have too much space up there. Let's cut these pieces off and see what we got. See what we got to work with. I do have a big piece right here though. Let's see. Cut these off. This is the part I love. I love to see, once I get this done, what all we got to work with. Because we got this piece and this piece, a little bit there. Okay, so these are little trash pieces. Okay, so our biggest space is up here. thought I was going to get a longer leaf than that. Maybe we'll put that up there. Then we'll have this one down here. They look good? Wishing you joy. Because I want to see that. Okay, gotta pop that up though. And I could put that one there. I think I'd want them both gold though if I did that. Okay. So let's glue these pieces. I do like this corner up here though now. Let's glue this here. That last little stem off. And here is our finished card. There we go. Glimmer and 3D embossing folder. Look at that shine. Both the embossing folder and the glimmer. There we go, guys. Our card for today. I hope you have had fun. I hope you've learned something. And I will see you back this weekend for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday triple play. We've got a stitching and stencil on Friday, small die and large die on Saturday and Sunday. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye for now.